We all want a simple life, and I am on this journey of trying to make my day-to-day as simple as possible so that I can focus on what matters, and the tools I use that enable my flow throughout my day need to be as effortless as possible, as sustainable as possible. I want to capture and record what is meaningful to me in my role at work, and I want Apple Notes to be the hub for all of my meeting notes, my thoughts, my projects, my objectives, but I don't want to have to dedicate time to maintain this hub, to maintain this space. I want to create a note, and that is it. I recently shared a video on how I managed my workload just using one list in Apple Reminders, and in this video I want to show you how I just write a note, and that is it, with a system built in Apple Notes that requires no maintenance, and the setup does the heavy lifting for me. There's nothing complicated about it, it's just simple. I don't have to spend time moving a note to the right place, whether it's a P for projects, A for areas, R for you kind of know where I'm going with this. All I want to do is spend my time on is being present, spending my time engaging in the meeting and easily recording what matters in the note. And then when I'm done, I move on. I have changed context and started the next thing. There are, of course, smarter ways of doing this now using AI, and there are different products that go deep into this, but I just don't need that. I want to try and stay as close to analog as possible, and this just works for me. In this video, I'm going to take you through how I use Apple Notes throughout my day, how I have set up tags to sustain my note-taking workflow effortlessly, and how I have set up smart folders for structuring what matters to me. Hi, if you're new here, I am Jill, and this channel is all about trying to do life right with more of a focus on work life. So if you like the vibes and you're genuinely getting value from this content, why not subscribe and hit that like button. The first thing I do when I open Apple Notes every morning is to create a note for my daily log, dated like this. This note evolves throughout my day from meeting to meeting, conversation to conversation, capturing the meaningful discussion points, capturing actions, whether mine or someone else's in my team. I use a very simple format to support the management of my actions. So you know when you're in a meeting and an action comes up, and part of you really just wants to record the action in whatever system that you have, whether it's a task management system, whether it's a separate notebook, whether it's Apple Reminders like me. And I want to do that too, but I also want to stay engaged in the discussion, stay engaged with my peers, and not off trying to log an action somewhere else. I simply stay in the Apple Note, and I use a simple bullet point such as this. It is large enough so that it doesn't get lost in the words, and the purpose of this large actionable bullet point is to signal to me, hey, I need logged, don't forget about me. So throughout my day, as I record meaningful information from one meeting to the next, I will enter this symbol quickly as I have set up a text replacement, and when I enter the shortcut it will appear at the start of a sentence, or in this case an action. And when I come to the end of my day, each day I will review my daily log for that day, and I will clock those actionable bullet points very easily. And I split my view on my iPad, and I open my one super list and Apple Reminders on the right alongside the note, and I log all of the actions in one swoop. And if you want to know more about that, you can find the link below in the description to that Apple Reminders video. I do intend to do a deeper dive into my Apple Reminders setup in the near future, but logging all these actions at the end of the day is my intentional and mindful way of staying focused on what matters throughout my day, having built a simple system to log them at the end of each day. I simply enter the bullet point in the mean, and then I forget about it. So let's take a look at a few daily logs so that you can kind of picture this much better. So 30th of April, we had our senior leadership team meeting with my boss, our CEO. Following that, I had a monthly quality meeting with our director of quality, who I work very close with, and we then did a review of our latest fire drill evacuation with our health and safety officer. So a pretty meeting light day for me, which is always welcomed. On the 1st of May, we had a project update first thing in the morning. Then I had a one-to-one catch-up with our chief technology officer. Then we had a review of the latest service delivery pack for one of our key accounts. We then had a checkpoint on our revenue to date, and then I closed the day off with a one-to-one with one of my head of departments. So throughout these two notes, these two daily logs, there have been actions that have been logged, and there have been actions that have since been completed. And note that I don't create a new note for each meeting or each type of meeting. In the past, when using OneNote, I had different folders, business, delivery, and people. I just don't need those anymore. I focus on the day only, and I don't store these notes or move these notes into folders. So that brings us on to when I create a note, I tag it, and I keep it simple. My daily logs are tagged with a daily log tag, and my notes from one-to-ones are tagged with the name of that person I'm having the one-to-one with. A note for an improvement is tagged with the tag improvement. A note for customer services, the function that I manage, is tagged with CS, and any generic notes for work is kind of captured under a work catch-all tag. Any notes that are part of an OKR are tagged with an OKR. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. Likewise, any notes that are part of work that's associated to improving our KPIs is tagged with KPI. You get the picture. I utilize these tags because I don't want to have to store, move, archive these notes at a later date. I simply have a view of all of these tags on the Apple Notes homepage, and I have this far-reaching view of all of the tags for all of my notes, and I just simply click the tag when I want to locate something, as it's usually one of the latest notes that I have created, and they're all sorted by creation date. The only effort that is required is to add the tag in the first place, which is one of the first things I do after I have entered the title for that note. It is almost effortless. If there's notes that I want to find, whether it's in a meeting or on the go, it is just so quick to open these in Apple Notes and select the tag and find the note. I haven't found any other note-taking app that delivers this level of simplicity in this minimal aesthetic look that has the ability to find a note as quick as this. The only effort that I want to apply is the focused effort required to write the note in the first place, because for me, that is where the value is. Everything else beyond that is just waste. And anybody watching this that is familiar with lean methodology and the terminology that goes along with that, you will understand what I mean by waste. There is no value for me beyond the note-taking and logging of the actions. I am not getting value if I have to maintain a note system that requires some level of maintenance. I just want to spend time on the value add, and this setup enables this for me. And lastly, this brings me on to the use of smart folders, which I don't use too many of. I have intentionally kept this minimal to just 3 smart folders, and they are called Daily Log, People, and Videos. The Daily Log smart folder is set up to simply pull in all of my notes with the Daily Log tag for the last 3 months since I've started managing my daily logs digitally. The second folder, called People, brings in my notes that I have set up as, regular conversations with my direct reports or other people that I regularly deal with that are outside my bubble of customer services, and they simply have the tag People attached to them. These 2 smart folders are very much focused on the requirements for my role at work. The last, called Videos, is not. It is gathering every single note that I have that I've created that captures an idea for this YouTube channel that I want to take you and bring you along with as part of my hobby, and is tagged with the tag Video. In this video, I haven't laboured very much at all on the different functionality Apple Notes can deliver. There are so many good videos like that on YouTube that go through all of the features kind of step by step for us as users of Apple Notes. And I specifically have benefited so much from these. But simply put, I use Apple Notes in 3 main ways. I capture notes on the go by simply, most of the time now, dictating the note and holding the phone up like this. I will then review it later to fine tune, but the majority of the time I am either using my iPad or my iPhone and I'm just simply typing. And like I said at the start of this video, I have intentionally kept the setup simple. Simple is king. I want to be able to have an effortless way of managing my note-taking end to end, and for me, the value is in the note-taking, and I have built this simple system around that. Hope to see you in the next one.